Welcome to Ink Differently, our podcast here at Sawgrass. I am Rhonda, the education manager, and I'll be sitting down twice per month with some of my favorite people on the planet to help tell you all about Sawgrass, about sublimation, about the VersiFlex decorating system, and hopefully give you some inspiration and some business tips along the way. All of my guests are experts in what they do, and I know you're going to learn quite a bit from them. So join us, and we are going to tell you everything you need to succeed with Sawgrass. Okay, so I am so excited. I truly do have one of my favorite people on the planet with us today. Vik Patel, thank you so much for joining us here on Ink Differently.
Oh my goodness. With that introduction, the most favorite person. Well, thank you for having me. I'm really
Yeah.
excited. I've been waiting for this moment for a long time. I'm not prepared, but I've been waiting.
Ah, I know you've been wanting to do this. I know you have most definitely been looking forward to my would you rather questions.
Oh yeah, I know. Actually, that is the one thing I've been dreading the most. Because
Really? Well, I
yeah.
picked some winners for you today. I think you're going to love them.
How many do you have? Like 45 of them?
Yeah, about 50. Yeah. All
Okay.
right.
That's not
So, Vic, would
okay.
you rather have to always wear heavy boots or have to never be able to wear shoes?
Never be able to wear shoes
Why?
because I can always stay indoors and watch Netflix all day.
True. I think heavy boots would be so rough on your muscles. I'd much rather, but I like to be
Yeah.
barefoot anyway. So, all right. Would you rather be reincarnated as a sea creature or an airborne creature?
Oh wow, that's a really cool one. Um,
Hmm.
Airborne, I feel.
Airborne?
Yeah, just the ability to soar the skies and to travel and to keep an eye on my son so he doesn't get up to any mischief without him knowing. But yeah, airborne for sure.
Airborne. Okay.
Yeah.
Would you rather have to speak in rhyme for the rest of your life or have to speak in riddles for the rest of your life?
Well, I already speak in riddles most of my life, most of the time. So
True.
let's go for rhymes.
Okay.
Yeah, that'd be a change.
It would be a change. If it came natural, I think it would be fun. I think if you
Yeah.
had to think of rhymes, it would be really difficult.
It's very difficult for me to speak in rhymes. Riddles
Yeah.
is easy.
Okay. Would you rather lose your sense of smell or your sense of taste?
Oh my gosh. They're inherently connected.
They are.
Um,
There.
as like an amateur cook, I don't want to lose either. I think smell.
Smell. Okay.
Yeah, but that's a tough one.
It is a tough one because they are
Yeah.
connected too. All right, so this next one hits into one of my fears. Would you rather have the hiccups forever or always feel as though you're about to sneeze?
None of the above. Is that an option?
Well, the hiccups is my irrational fear because I have such violent hiccups.
Yeah, no,
I'm
I think
always afraid they won't stop.
the sneezing part, but at least that clears out your nasal passages so you can continue breathing.
There you go. There you go.
And with hiccups, at least you can eat, right? Without
Yeah,
hiccups, you can eat. Yeah.
true. Okay. Would you rather be forced to listen to the Barney theme song or someone slurp soup for 24 straight hours?
Gosh, I think the Barney song for 24 hours, I
Yeah.
can handle that. I can handle
I
Barney.
can tune out music well enough.
Yeah.
I think I could live with that better. Would you rather have to dress fancy or in sweats, no matter the situation for the rest of your life?
Sweat for the rest of my life.
Yeah. Okay.
It's where I
That's
like
an
to
easy
roll.
one to me.
Yeah.
Would you rather erase all of your most embarrassing moments from everyone else's memories or erase them from your own? That one's deep.
Would I rather erase my most embarrassing memories?
Yep. So your most embarrassing
Moment.
moments, would you rather erase them from your memory or from everyone else's? This one's
Everyone
deep.
else's.
Yeah. Well, actually, I think I go the other way because most of the things that you think were embarrassing, most other people have already forgot anyway. So I think you probably dwell on them more than everyone else.
That's a good point, but you're always in the back of your mind, you're always thinking, "Gosh, I wish that didn't happen in front of so and so."
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah.
But do you think it's something they actually think of a
Good
whole
point. Are
lot,
they?
or
Yeah, they're not thinking about it. Now, I'm vicious and vindictive, so I would think about it all the time.
you would definitely, you would remember it.
Be in my quiver.
There you go. All right. I've been waiting a week to ask you this, Vic. Would you rather be stuck in a zombie apocalypse or an alien invasion?
A zombie apocalypse or an alien invasion,
Yep.
which in a weird kind of way they're both the same. But I would say zombie apocalypse only because I've watched Legend,
Uh-huh.
and um, if I can at least survive in a boarded up home and go out during the daytime and scavenge for food, at least that'd be great. And aliens, you just don't know what you're gonna get with those guys, right?
You know.
I mean, they can Captain Kirk their way into your house, like beam me up, Scotty kind of stuff.
They could,
Yeah.
but
Oh,
if the zombies destroyed the Earth, it would be harder to survive on a destroyed Earth than if the aliens took you back to their homeland.
well, if they destroyed the Earth, you'd be dead anyway. So you wouldn't have
Mm,
to
true.
worry about what you want to do.
Well, true. All right, last one.
Yeah,
Would you rather jump out of a plane with a parachute or dive in a cage surrounded by sharks?
without a parachute.
No, with the parachute. Both are
Oh,
completely safe, but feel very unsafe.
well, I've done the former, so I have jumped out of a plane.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
um,
So, would you go in a dive cage surrounded by sharks?
yeah, I'd do that.
And I didn't ask you this one, but this is one that I've been using a lot in meetings lately. If in an hour you had to present a class on any topic, what would the topic be? So it's a college level course on any topic.
Oh, entrepreneurship, starting your hustle,
Yeah.
no
Well,
brainer.
good, because that leads us right into the questions today.
Bingo.
Okay.
Oh,
So,
I thought
Vic,
we were done with the podcast. I mean, this took like 45 minutes to do.
I know, right? Just the
Yeah.
fun part. All right, Vic, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Wow. Um, where do you want me to start? So, born and raised in the UK, went to university in London. Um, most people don't even know this, but I've got a degree in chemistry and business administration. Um, I don't know why I did those two topics, two double majors, but I did in the UK. Moved to the US in 1996. Married an amazing woman, and then I don't know how she keeps up with me or puts up with me more likely. But for 27 years, we moved to Charleston in 2014. Worked for Sawgrass. Um, Prior to that, I worked for DHL Express. I was the chief operating officer for a company called Casemate in Atlanta. And having moved to Charleston, we have woken up every single day and said, we are never, ever going to move again, ever. Um, Started craft. I was very fortunate enough to work for Sawgrass. I'm not saying that because I'm on the Sawgrass podcast, but I learned a great deal from everyone there. and was afforded the ability to travel the world and learn more about different cultures and um, how people operate in the sublimation world, in the customization world, and personalization world. So that gave me a huge breadth of information and detail, and that led me to starting Craft Express here in Charleston. And um, so yeah, that's kind of my journey. And off the business topics, I love to cook, as I mentioned earlier. Um,
Mhm.
I have one son, 13 years old, who, my wife's side will say looks like her, but everyone else says looks like me. Unfortunately, but fortunately, he's got the good looking parts of me. Not many, but he's got them. But that's it. And we have one dog, Leia. She's not here today. She typically is in the office every single day, but she is our chief motivational officer, and she is a 4-year-old lab. There you go. That's me.
Well, thank you. Now, tell us more about Craft Express. How long have you been in business, and what are some of the things you carry?
Yep. So great timing on question two. So 5 years in business in January. That's when we started Craft Express. That's when the LLC started. The website launched a few months later. In fact, it's going to be 5 years tomorrow since the launch of the website at craftexpressus.com. Um, we are we are essentially a full service craft supplier. So, what does that mean? So, we supply everything from um, sublimation blanks, sublimation heat presses, whether it's mug presses, flat presses. We ventured into lasers. So, we have laser blanks and lasers. We have DTF printers on the industrial side. And they're all Craft Express branded. Um, to date, right now, there are only two brands that we sell at Craft Express, and that is Craft Express and then Sawgrass. We are we do sell with Sawgrass printers. We are a preferred Sawgrass dealer. What does that mean? That means that we only sell Sawgrass sublimation printers. We don't sell any other printers, and there's a reason for that. And I think this for me is more of a emotional rationale than it is a business rationale, and that is I worked for Sawgrass for 8 years, and like I said, I was well, I hadn't mentioned this, but I was part of the initial launch of the Sawgrass printers. Um, I helped develop the supply chain for the printers. I helped market the printers, sell the printers, and personally, I feel that I know the printers really, really, really well.
Mhm.
Um, and I sell the Sawgrass printers and Sawgrass printers only because because it would certainly be one a betrayal to what I've done, and it would also, if I start selling alternate solutions in sublimation, it would be a bit of an oxymoron. I've been promoting this printer,
Mhm.
and now I'm saying something else is better, which it isn't,
Yeah.
right? So yeah, so that's what we sell. That's what we do, and it's probably a little bit more information that you wanted, um, but that's just personally how I feel about the Sawgrass brand
Yeah.
and printers.
Well, and you and I kind of sit in the same place. We're very passionate about the product, but we know every person who touches the ink. We know the process. We know everything about the quality and what goes into it, and it's hard to see anything else as being better than that because we are so passionate and we do know
Yeah,
exactly what goes into the whole process.
and I think it's beyond seeing it, right? So
Yeah.
I think you living us living the life of Sawgrass for the time I was there, and you're still there. Um, it's not just that we were bought into the doctrine of Sawgrass. I personally went to almost every single trade show that
Hmm.
we in the industry for 8 years.
Yeah.
And firsthand, I saw the output compared to others. I saw the systems that people had compared to others, and we're a unicorn in this
Yeah.
space, right? We're not a industrial printer manufacturer that's just decided to retrofit a scanner and a printer and throw some ink in there. These things
Mhm.
were systematically made
Yeah.
um, with a lot of thought. So yeah.
Yeah. All right. So, um, how does Craft Express engage with your customers, and where can anyone who's not familiar with you yet find out more about you online?
Yep, good question. So we're clearly on the web. So we our website is craftexpressus.com. So you can buy a full range of our products there, learn more about our products there too. Um, we have obviously an Amazon store. More importantly, I think from our business partners' perspective, we're more widely distributed than other um, craft suppliers. So we have product on michaels.com. So you can buy from Michaels, you can buy from Amazon. Um, we also have our heat presses and our ovens and our tumbler presses at Michaels stores too. They're not in every store because Michaels is very selective as to where the products stand, but we're in a good number of Michaels stores with heat presses and tumbler presses, etc. So we're a trusted brand when it comes to major retailers. And for anyone that's listening to the podcast or anyone who's Rhonda yourself too, I know that you have some history on Michael's side too. It's very difficult to get into those stores without certifications and things like that. So I think it's also very important to express that a lot of our products, and not all of our products, are go through stringent testing. They're certified. Our coffee mugs go through Intertech testing at the FDA level. Our can our vacuum sealed tumblers, etc., all go through Intertech testing to make sure that they maintain a cold or a hot temperature, depending on the liquid that you put in there. So everyone can't say that. We're not just picking random product off of a shelf and bringing it here. We're bringing in really cool, really good product, and our coding factories in are extremely consistent, well regulated, and our coding is far more superior than everyone else's in the marketplace today.
Awesome.
Yep.
All right. So on the Sawgrass side, it's been about a year since
Mhm.
you and I probably had our first conversations about VersiFlex. What were your first thoughts when you heard that we could do both traditional sublimation and press onto cotton and uncoated wood, all with the same set of ink?
So for me, I felt that that was an immediate game changer, right? Um, and I feel that yes, there's a lot of folks out there who talk a great deal about, you know, VersaFlex allows you to go onto uncoated materials, etc. But having lived in the sawgrass world, having lived in the sublimation world for such a long time, there are two things that we know that are sublimated more than any other two products in the world, regardless of where
Yeah.
you look, when you look. It's coffee mugs and
Hmm.
t-shirts.
Yep.
Okay. There's no doubt. And you can look at the numbers every single day, and one day mugs are up, one day t-shirts are up, and they go
Hmm.
through a seesaw effect. Um, the ability, and then when you're looking at mugs, it's easy. They're polyester coated, they sublimate really well, and then you got all the other 10 billion pieces of drinkware that come along with it. T-shirts, on the other hand, you have polyester shirts, and most people don't like the feel of polyester.
Right.
Everyone has grown up with the feel of cotton, the soft feel of cotton, and the holy grail's always been how can we print on cotton. So when I first heard about it, I felt that this was great. My initial question was, "Are you sure you don't need a second printer? Right? Are you sure we can do both?" Are you
Mhm.
sure we can get the same quality
Yeah.
um, out of one set of ink? Um, what's this silliness about getting rid of black, right? What's this
Mhm.
craziness? And so I was shocked, I was surprised, and I think I was one of the first people in line to say, I want to test this,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. So, with everything you have tested and everything that you've seen outside of t-shirts, what are your favorite products that you've seen can be made with VersiFlex?
So I feel that outside of t-shirts, I'm a big t-shirt fan. So outside of
Yeah.
t-shirts, I
That's
feel
why
that
I pushed that one off for you.
yeah, yeah, I know. I feel that wood, I think, is and the natural wood is also a game changer
Mhm.
because one of the things we learned in the early days when we had the legacy version of my sawgrass, which was Create Studio, where people were looking for different shapes and different forms. The circle was the one that drove me crazy. People always wanted to design. We had an 8-inch circle, and some
Mhm.
people wanted a 7.5-inch circle. Some people wanted 7.25, 8.25, right? So,
Yeah.
so it drove us crazy, but it also gave us insight into what were people doing with a 7.5-inch, 7.25-inch circle, right?
Mhm.
What were they doing?
Yeah.
And clearly they were experimenting on different products and different materials, and that's why I think the wood is spectacular because it's openly available, right?
Mhm.
People have machines now that can cut wood, routers that can cut wood easily to different shapes,
Yeah.
and it gives you, as VersaFlex says, that versatility to do more products. So I think wood is definitely a game changer. And and then if I can have a second, which has multiple sort of bullet points underneath it, is outside of cotton, just the plethora of different fabrics
Mhm.
that you can go on to.
Yep.
Um, I think that is a massive game changer,
Yeah.
and it's understated as far as I'm concerned.
I was saying that this morning. I was talking to someone about ribbon. There's polyester ribbon, but there's
Mhm.
cotton ribbon, there's linen ribbon, there's burlap, there's satin, there's all these different fabrics. And being able to go on to all the different types of ribbon has been really cool for me.
Yeah.
Okay, so why should users consider getting a VersaFlex system?
It's you hustle in one machine, right? It,
Yep.
it is it. We've always talked about the Sawgrass system as a business in a box,
Yeah.
right? That business in a box has turned, from a street talk perspective, it's a hustle in a box. It gives you that flexibility, the versatility to switch from doing a cotton shirt and a mug at the same time,
Mm-hmm.
right? So if we stick to the two top products, if you have a little Etsy store, if you have a little market that you go to on a weekly basis, it's going to give you the ability to expand your product offering
Mm-hmm.
without having to switch out inks, switch out printers, switch out software, right? Which is really important.
Yeah.
All in one, you're expanding your business today.
Yeah.
Period.
And that was actually the next question. You've already answered it. For a business owner selling customized, personalized products, where does VersaFlex fit?
So it is your ability to expand your revenue opportunity,
Mm,
period. So
yep.
if we want to start talking sort of um, business, it's your ability to introduce short run um, personalization at them um, in the moment, and increase your revenue potential.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, there are. Uh, I'm not going to talk DTF down because we sell DTF. However, DTF isn't for everyone. Okay. There are smaller desktop DTF machines that people can purchase, but they're heavy on maintenance.
Mm,
They are they love to be printed on, right? So if you're going to be printing all day, by all means, get one of those. However, if you're if you're wanting to take the machine to a market or have it in your store, um, the VersiFlex machine is the way to go. It's a smaller footprint, it takes less maintenance, and it's not a one-trick pony,
Yeah.
right? DTF machine is not going to give you the ability to do coffee mugs and tumblers and polyester tote bags and cotton tees.
Yeah.
Period. Yeah, and you're not going to be sitting all day maintaining the machine either.
Exactly. And and as we even just talk about sawgrass with the sublimation, again, you're not having to do that high level of maintenance that you are with some of the other machines and with conversions and all of that. It simplifies your life and takes a lot of that time
Yeah,
that you can put on other things.
we've got. I think we have about 4 machines here at Craft Express, sawgrass machines,
Yeah.
and I don't use them every day. I'll use them as for demos, etc., and do samples maybe every few months, right? Because we're selling blanks mostly. But I will tell you, there has probably in the 5 years has probably been, I can count these on one hand, the number of times that I've done a nozzle check after 2 to 3 months of the printers just sitting there,
Hmm.
um, and having to do a cleaning.
Yeah.
Period. I have literally gone in almost 100% of the time and gone in and just printed. I don't know why I do a nozzle check, it's just a waste of paper, because it's usually nice and clean, right?
Yeah.
And I keep printing. So I think that is a massive benefit in the Sawgrass printer, in the fact that I don't have to come in every single day and print stuff just to keep
Yeah.
that printer going.
Yeah.
And that ink doesn't deplete, it doesn't go away, it doesn't
Yeah.
evaporate, it stays in the lines, and it doesn't clog the head.
Yep.
Um, so for a $600 investment, and it's pretty good.
Yeah. That self-maintenance cycle is such an amazing time saver,
Yeah.
which is great. All right. So you mentioned revenue. ROI is a term, a set of initials that get thrown out all the time. How would you define ROI and how do you measure it?
Um, ROI, return on investment, a nice accounting term to say when the heck am I going to get my money back after spending, um, on a heat press and a printer.
Mhm.
So look, at the end of the day, um, I tried to solve for this a while back, and Rhonda, and the team of Sawgrass knows this too. But I'm I'm a I'm a I'm an Excel geek, and I like running numbers. So what I did is I went about I did the actual ROI study on VersiFlex. I had an existing VersiFlex printer. I got a brand new set of inks and put a fresh pair of inks in there, right?
Mhm.
Standard 31 milliliter inks.
Yep.
And, you know, typically a print job would be, all printers have a test print, which is like heavy photography and a big block of ink.
Mhm.
Normal people, um, a category I don't usually put myself in, don't typically print a big block of ink, right? They typically
True.
print like a 7 inch by 7 inch print that goes onto a t-shirt.
Yep.
Maybe it's a smaller print that goes onto a mug. So I said, I'm going to create a nice little design, and I'm going to set it to print VersiFlex and print as many pages as I can until one cartridge runs out. Okay. Now with VersiFlex, we have the 4 inks, we have the expander cart,
Mhm.
which, um, is used on VersiFlex. So I use that print, and I printed and printed and printed until about 640. It was about 641, 642. But I rounded it down to 640 pages printed until the expander cartridge ran out. Period. It went.
Mhm.
That's 640 potential t-shirts I could make. Let's put this into perspective. Okay.
Yeah.
So 640 t-shirts. And I'm like, that's pretty good. Now
Mhm.
I still had yellow. magenta, and cyan left. Following day, I woke up, and I do sleep, contrary to belief, to rumor. Um, I woke up and I said, hold on a minute. I got sublimation ink left in there. I said, what if I put that print in and printed the same print, same size for sublimation? And
Mhm.
maybe I could put that on totes, for example, a 7 inch by
Yeah.
7 inch print. We ended up printing, I believe it was around 350. It was a little bit more until the yellow ink ran out. And yellow ran out because the print was all prints are heavier or lean towards a specific color more than others, right?
Mhm.
So the yellow ran out, and we still had magenta and cyan left. So we printed almost 960, 990 odd prints from one set of inks. Okay.
Mhm.
My math may not be right
No,
on, but
you're good. Your
over
math's great.
900. Okay. At this point, these numbers become rounding errors.
Mhm.
Okay. One set of ink, 900. Okay.
Yep.
If I sold a t-shirt and I made $10 profit every time I sold a t-shirt,
Mhm.
$10 times 940 is $9,400.
Yep.
Okay. I like to do simple math because I have to explain this to Megan on a regular basis. And, she doesn't like using calculators. So $9,400. Now, my investment on the printer,
Mhm.
depending on the price of the printer, is around $900.
Mhm.
So I'm not sure after making $9,000 in profit, but I can pay off a $900 printer. I think I can,
I
right?
think you can too. Yeah.
Yeah. And by the way, buy two cartridges
Yeah.
to make up the ink cartridge difference. But I made 9,000. I not only paid off my printer,
Yeah.
I paid off the heat presser I purchased. I paid off the
Mhm.
t-shirts that I purchased.
Yep.
I also bought extra supplies of ink and the media, right?
Mhm.
And I'm walking home with money,
Yep.
period. So now we ran this backwards and we said, so how many shirts do I have to sell to pay off my investment? So
Mhm.
let's just say you spent $1,000 with the heat press and the printer and everything. It's 100 shirts, right? It's ten
Yep.
dollars a shirt. 100
Yeah.
shirts. That's it.
Yeah.
Then we ran it backwards. We said, I want to pay it off in 3 months. Well, can I sell 33 shirts a month?
Yeah.
Can I sell one shirt a day
Mhm.
and make $10 a day
Yeah.
to pay off my investment?
Yeah. And you and I have had these conversations. There are so many organizations that you could easily sell 30 shirts.
Correct.
Like, I mean, any kids hockey or soccer or basketball, and then when you start saying kids need shirts but parents need shirts, and I mean,
Yeah.
you have a 13-year-old, I have a 17-year-old, which I cannot believe, but I mean, how many things have they participated in over the years where someone would want a shirt to commemorate the event?
And they are your marketing machine too.
Hmm. Yep.
Let them grab a shirt out and let them see it. Let them take the water bottle with them. Let them
Yeah.
see it. And that's how the other moms and parents see what Evelyn's wearing or Ish is wearing, and then all of a sudden they want them one for their kids too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All
no,
right.
I agree.
So, thinking of all the side hustlers that you've met over the years, all the small businesses that you've met over the years, what are the smartest things they can do to get their return on investment quickly and to be profitable quickly?
Focus, focus, and then I think the last thing they need to do is focus.
Yeah.
Um, and what I mean by that is it is very easy for a hustler to get distracted with all the things that they can potentially make. using the system.
Mhm.
Okay. One, you need to sit down with a blank piece of paper and you need to write down what you love, right?
Yeah.
What makes you wake up in the morning and what do you enjoy doing, right? And in that, what products are aligned to that activity, whether it's
Mhm.
yoga, whether it's you're a photographer. I know you're a photographer.
Yeah.
Um, whether it's you love pets, it doesn't matter, right? Maybe you volunteer for the Humane Society, which is great. Maybe there's an opportunity there. Maybe you're a firefighter or a police officer or a nurse or a teacher. Um, what's your passion? And what are the different products are aligned to that passion? What are the products that you walk around with that
Mhm.
you wear your personal brand on? And so focus on those products, because when people see you with those products or people see you using those products in those activities, you're in the happiest moment because you're loving what you're doing. As a school teacher, you're loving walking into school with your 40-ounce tumbler, right, with your name written on it or with your own design on there.
Mhm.
Um, and you'll sell those. And you
Yeah.
won't even have to ask people. People are just going to say, where'd you get this from? Well, I made it. Can you make me one? Yeah. Oh, can you make me two? Because I need one for my mom too. Right?
Mhm.
That's how hustles really start hustling.
Yeah.
That's how it works. And I've seen that with some of the folks that I talk to and we've consulted with. And
Mhm.
we don't sell products to people. We consult, especially with the Sawgrasspreneur. We tend to talk to people about what they want to do and what their passions are. And we consult with them. And if anyone's listening and they want to schedule time with us, do that. Email me. My email is Vik at craftexpress.com. Email me, and I'm happy to sit down 30-40 minutes and say, what's your passionate, what are you passionate about? How can we fit you with the right system and the
Yeah.
right products? That's what we do.
Yeah. So, for that same side hustler, what are the pitfalls? What are the roadblocks that you think they hit the most?
um so there's two types of hustlers. One that is an introvert, one that's an extrovert. Okay. And that's really important. And you need to be self-conscious of this, right? And self be realistic, be realistic with yourself. There are folks who would the introvert who just loves to make products, but has a really hard time saying, "Will you buy it?"
Mhm.
Right? Give me money for it. There is the extrovert who is really, really good at talking and selling things, but has a hard time settling down making it to fulfill the order.
Mhm.
And I feel that those are the two things that are challenging, right?
Yeah.
And there's many other things in between, but those are the two big ones, in my opinion. And so if we can get introverts selling in a introvert way, i.e., how can we get them who are very creative and hands-on lovemaking selling on my sawgrass or selling on Etsy? How can we get the extrovert selling in markets,
Mhm.
selling in more public venues, because they don't mind making in person. They don't want to take the orders and come back home into their craft room and start making product because they're itching to start talking to people again,
Yeah.
right? And I'll be honest, that's me,
Mhm.
right? You take my wife; she's on the other side, right? She's like,
Mhm.
no, no, take me away from people, right? And,
Yeah.
and I'm good, right?
Yeah,
Doing
that's a
doing my
very great point.
yeah.
That's
So
that's a really awesome point that I've never thought of. So that's really, really cool. Because there's so many things to consider, but yeah, who are you and how do you interact with people does really impact where you should be selling.
yeah, and it really impacts your self-esteem too, right?
Hmm.
If you're an introvert and you're trying to go out to markets and you're not making sales because you're an introvert. You're not selling in the right place for you.
Yeah. Awesome. All right. So if you were selling personalized products made with VersiFlex, what are the three main products you'd be selling? I think I already know two of them.
Um, T-shirts for sure on
Yeah.
VersiFlex, right? I'd um, now VersiFlex can do sublimation too, right? It's an all-in-one system.
Hmm.
So the drinkware piece is the other for sure.
Yeah.
Um, I feel, but some of the blanks that are really underrated um, are pet products are really underrated. Pets are a $63 billion business in the United States.
Yep.
Okay. There's a reason why Petco and PetSmart are always, they never close. They're always there, right?
Yeah.
It's a huge business. So there's pet scarves, there's pet collars, etc., etc. Um, the other piece is the versatility of towels. I think don't ever underestimate sort of towels. I've got someone here in Charleston that buys towels. They put grommets in there and they sell them to golf courses.
Yep.
So looking at the product description and saying these are just kitchen towels, etc. Be creative, use your
Yeah.
imagination, right? We've got people in there that teach children how to draw digitally, print, and then put it on towels, right?
Hmm.
And then sell it to parents, etc., etc. So I think towels are another big one. um, I'm just thinking about some of the things that went out today. um, baby baby stuff is bandanas,
Hmm.
right? Bibs, they're big,
Bibs, hair
right?
bows.
Hair bows, they're
Hmm.
big. And that's where sort of VersaFlex sort of comes in,
Yeah.
because on the baby side of things, yes, we got the polyester bibs, etc., but then there's this whole there's this whole industry of cotton products on baby wear too, right?
Yeah.
Um, so take advantage of that. So yeah, those are really sort of the main categories that I would look at. And then last but not least is signage. Um, it I think signage is also something that's highly underestimated. So if you're this extrovert hustler who's networking, looking at new businesses that have opened up in your local market, talk to them about, hey, do you need some signage, right?
Hmm.
It may be as crazy as, do you need some bathroom signs made,
Yeah.
or do you
Yeah.
need some nameplates made? And guess what? You can buy nameplates and VersaFlex on wood, right?
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
law offices need coasters, they need coffee mugs,
Yeah.
but they don't want to buy 150 online. They just need six
Yeah.
because it's a small office.
Yep. Awesome. Okay. Final question.
Yep.
If you were talking to a side hustler, probably someone who's relatively new, getting started with a side hustle in the personalization business, what are your three biggest tips?
So repeat that question one more time. If I'm a side hustler starting in the business,
Yeah, what are your three biggest tips for a side hustler who's getting started out?
um, define your market. Where am I going to sell?
Yep.
What am I going to sell?
Yep.
Um, and then the third one would be, how am I going to sell it?
Yeah.
Right. Um, and going back, if you rewind back in the podcast, it all comes back down to your focus, right?
Yeah.
Um, I'd also take huge inspiration from the community itself. Okay. The one thing I've always said about our community, and when I mean our community, the crafting community, is, or the hustle community, is the fact that we're we're, we're all, none of us are competing against each other,
Right.
especially in the hustle market. and my neighbor might be making t-shirts and I might be making t-shirts. However, you know, I'm making t-shirts for pickleball and my neighbor's making t-shirts for the biker group or the
Mm,
soccer teams. We're
yeah.
not competing against each other, right?
No.
We can learn from each other. We can leverage each other and see what are your best practices. Um, I might be making mugs and he might be making t-shirts. Maybe that's a great opportunity for you to marry up together with him and say, hey, you buy some of my product, I buy some of your product, and we
Yeah.
win-win,
Yeah.
right? Um, talk to your neighbors. Talk to the we we are all one big tribe, and we all want to grow the industry. Believe it or not, because if one person grows, the other person grows automatically. Because what we do is really really cool, and there's no other decorating technology but where you could take the piece of paper off when it comes off that heat press and people just go, wow, that's
Yeah.
pretty amazing, right? And I've been doing this for over 20 years. I still go, wow, when
Hmm.
I peel that paper off of that heat press, off that product, um, because I just can't believe that, you know, I do this every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Vic, for your time today. Did I miss anything? Is there anything else you want to share that I didn't cover?
No, I think you covered most of it. So no, we're good.
Awesome.
I know we've got some more exciting stuff to come, and
We
Craft
do.
Express has got some exciting things to come too, that will outlive this podcast.
Yeah.
But I'm excited. I can't believe it's taken 20 years for me to get on the Sawgrass podcast.
I know, right?
Yeah.
All the way to season 3, but you are the first guest of season 3.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah, yeah. You get
I,
to kick off a whole new season.
I didn't think I was a guest in season. I don't think I was ever a guest in season one,
I
and
don't
I
think you
started it.
are. Yeah, I know. This all started with you, and it's taken us 3
Huh.
seasons to get you here. But
No,
thank you so much for your time today.
thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for joining us today and making it to the end of this podcast with us. We'll be bringing you these every other week right here, whether you're listening on Spotify, Apple Music, or Amazon Music, and we'll make sure to link it all over our Sawgrass site as well. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time.